Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back for my ninth online Modern Masters draft. I currently have 2 tickets, so if I 2-1 this draft, I'll make it up to 10, and I guess I will go for a 10th, if that is the case. Otherwise, I'm not willing to invest another 8 tickets. So, looking at this pack, Vertiloff is a fine card. Tysis is I've used it. Executioner's Capsule is pretty solid removal. Sudden Shock is pretty solid removal. Penumbra Spider is solid. Vertiloff is okay. I'm definitely considering the Vertiloff. I kind of really want to play an Historical deck, but I think I'm taking the Executioner's Capsule because it's removal. And immediately questioning my choice of removal because there's a Lightning Helix in this pack. Well, if I take this Kadama's Reach, then I'm not taking the Lightning Helix. Let's consider where these put me. I could play Red White Giant, splash black. I could play Black White Rebels, splash red. I could play Red Black Goblins, splash white. None of these seems to be extraordinarily appealing things. I had a Trigon Predator in my deck yesterday. It wasn't amazing. Not super excited about that. I think I might take the Kadama's Reach. Second to the Kadama's Reach are the Vivid Crag or the Lightning Helix. Vivid Crag in keeping my options open, but Lightning Helix in being a pretty premium removal spell. But we're reaching it. Alright, I am picking another Demigod of Revenge. This is apparently the card that I was meant to play. It makes me a little sad that I let the other 2 cards that I was discussing go, but I mean, that is what it is. That's fine. I could also just jam this Pyromancer Swath, but I don't see any reason to do that when I could have a Demigod and Executioner's Capsule. There aren't a tremendous number of other reasonable cards I would expect to get out of this pack. Possibly a Tribal Flames. No promises though. So, let's see. If this is 121 rare set, then there should be 2 in every 5 boxes. I guess it's not that unreasonable then, the amount of times I played Demigod. Alright. So cards that are good in the black-red deck. Mog War Marshal's very good. Warren Weirding, Blight Speaker, and Thieving Sprite are all playable. Currently leading towards taking the War Marshal. That could be incorrect, and it might be the Weirding, but I think it's the War Marshal. Let's just hope I open a number of anti-snitches and we get to go to work. Alright, so here I'm considering this Blight Speaker. Not really the Terramorphic Expanse. Having 3 lands in this pack is really weird. But yeah, I definitely think it's Blight Speaker over Raven Scryme or Fury Charm in terms of on-color things. Rune Stalactite's okay, but not inherently necessary in this kind of deck. Along with Terramorphic Expanse, having gotten the Demigod early, I can make color choices as such. So, the Sting Scourger's pretty sweet. while I love Giant Growth as a card, and Brute Force being a red Giant Growth is insane, it doesn't end up in my deck enough. The drag down's okay, but not amazing because of our color considerations. And so I think the Sting Scourger is going to be the best temporal play, and is a goblin, so there's that key benefit. So I don't know if Dream Spoiler Witches has enough upside. So whenever I cast any spell during an opponent's turn, Manamorphose, Drag Down, neither one of those seems amazing to me. They're okay. But I think I have more potential upside with the Witches. Particularly if I pick Witches in conundrum with one another. Because I don't expect this Absorb to be insane. Particularly in this theoretically aggressive deck. But having more 2/2 flyers that allow me to prioritize instants a little bit more is pretty good. So let's run with this. Maybe I can pick up some cheap burn. That Vertaloth came back. Well, I think I've got to take the Festering Goblin. Or I could take the Sudden Shock. Hmm. The Sudden Shock works well in conjunction with the Dream Swirl Witches, so I guess I'm gonna, yeah, the Sudden Shock works well in conjunction with the Dream Swirl Witches. I don't have any anti-snitches. And, like, Festering Goblin's just a 1/1. So this pack's sweet. I don't know for sure. I don't think it's the Vivid Crag. I'm not that worried about fixing. I don't think it's the Pepper Smoke. I currently only have 2 fairies that cost 4. It's probably the Sting Scourger. I could take a Hammerheim Deadeye. I think that's better as a random out than the Sting Scourger. Kind of want the Thieving Sprite, but Blight Speakers get better in multiples. And it's definitely possible that I pick up, you know, a Tapper or some other Revels that are pretty good. Raven's Crime is most likely not going to make my main deck, so having a Fury Charm gives me an out to random swords. Let's take a Stinger. Heat card out of Affinity and give someone else a hate card. Seems fine. It's a very late Skyreach meta. Not that I can blame anyone, it's only okay. So I don't think this deck has the opportunity to be a sweet Aether Vial deck. I don't know that this is a Partick Dragon deck when I already have a Demigod. I think it's Mog War Marshal over the 3rd Blight Speaker. I mean, based upon how late I got the Blight Speaker, I definitely think it's possible that I get them back. Fiery Fall isn't amazing when I'm attempting to keep my curve low, and Death Denied's only okay. But yeah, I think Mark War Marshal over Blight Speaker definitely seems defendable. I'd really need to open some anti-snitches in the next 2 packs, but that's fine. So I have to make the choice between Tribal Flame, Sting Scourger, Warren Weirding, and Dream Spoiler Witches. Having 2 Dream Spoiler Witches is already a lot. Having 2 Sting Scourgers is already a lot. And I don't have any Warren Weirdings yet. I didn't value them as highly. So I think having the first Warren Weirding is better than having a third of either one of those cards. I'd really like to get either some 3s or some 1s involved in my curve, though. This is neither. I don't have a choice here to get either, but just saying. Um, man, this pack is insane. I want an Earwig Squad really bad. The card's sweet. And if I can get anything back out of Festering Goblin, Rift Bolt, Wrathy Trapper, or Executioner's Capsule, I'm pretty sure those are all insane. There's even a chance that if I don't take this Earwig Squad, it comes back. But I feel like I've got a reasonable chance to get any of these other cards back anyway. I don't know if that's too greedy and I should be expecting the Earwig Squad to wheel, but like, this card is actually insane against a lot of decks. I mean, you get to power out a 5/3 on turn 3 and then search their library for their best cards and take them out. Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, this pack is very strong, and hopefully we wheel something sweet out of it. We're most certainly not a Tooth and Nail deck. Renee Agnes isn't necessarily what we want to be doing either, although it can help you power out. No, it produces colors. Never mind. It doesn't even help you with the Demigod. I'm currently considering Deep Cavern Imp as a much-needed 3. I definitely think it beats an Empty the Warrens with no support, even if Empty the Warrens does produce goblins. So in this case, I'm now intentionally picking, like purposely picking Mogwar Marshal over Blightspeaker, because I want to have as many goblins as possible to get the E-Rig squad active. Like turn 2, Mogwar Marshal, don't pay, attack with the goblin, hit, Earwig Squad you, is a very much a line I'd like to execute. And currently the Blightspeaker... Oh, I didn't even consider Deep Cavern Imp is a rogue. So it is kind of sweet in conjunction with the Blightspeakers. You can instant speed, say, Surprise Flyer. But I think Mogwar Marshal's where I want to be here. Alright, I am not sure if I just evaluate Apocryphite too highly as a card. It might not even end up making the main deck here, and is not much better, but possibly better in a defensive role. Because I don't need another Hammerheim Deadeye. Fairy Macabre is okay. Maybe that's probably what I should be taking over the Apocryphite, actually. Because the ability to turn 3 a Fairy Macabre is going to be much stronger than, turn 2ing an Apocryphite in this deck. I have plenty of 2-drops. Alright, I'm just going to have all the Mog War Marshals. Still think it's better than a Warren Weirding. Chalice on 2 would borderline completely destroy me, but whatever. No one actually plays Chalice. That's ridiculous. Alright. I will take the Tar Pitcher over the 5th Mog War Marshal. Diversifying my threat list a little bit and being awesome. Face Falter is also a sweet card out of this pack. If I get either a last pick Face Falter or a last pick Mog War Marshal, I would definitely be pretty happy with that. But I'm taking the Tar Pitcher. Alright, so out of our first pack, I guess I'm taking the Dragon. It's not insane, but might make the deck, I don't know. It's very unlikely that we ever suspend it. It's not actually good at being suspended. Alright, so the Sting Scourger is definitely better than the Dream Spoiler Witches. As it is, the two that we have aren't going to see aren't going to get a tremendous amount of use. This is an interesting one. I guess I don't want to see the Great Heart. Having my opponent spend 4 men on a Blinding Beam seems okay, but Great Heart is going to wall my team a little bit. I guess I'm going to take the Crush Underfoot and really just get this Giants player? I don't know. Sure, Sen's Enlistment. Alright, but this third pack is very much make or break. Whatever, another did I guess. Ah, Siphon Life, dang. Got cut. Alright, so this to me feels like a clear Pilferer's pick. Pilfers into Earache Squad, Pilfers back into Demigod. Just generally insane plays. The Tar Pitcher is fine, but I already have one. I think we can get back the Festering Goblin. It's unlikely that I get back the Tar Pitcher, but it's definitely not impossible. But I just want to be in Pilferer's mode, I think. Like, I just have some sweet ones to get back. Yeah. That's what we're going for. Greater Gargadon is not amazing this deck. I want it to be better. Shrapnel Blast is awful, though. I think the second Pilferers beats the Warspike Changeling, but I'm honestly not 100% sure. It's definitely negotiable either way. You know what? Yeah, I think the Warspike Changeling comes down at a better spot on the curve. Like, I would like another 4 rather than another 5, even if Warren Pilferers does provide some sweet value. Alright, it looks like I'm taking another Deep Cavern Imp. And we're very much running out of spots where I could have Mad Aunties. These Mog War Marshals are going to look kind of silly if I never see one. But, c'est la vie. What am I going to do about it? I don't have any control over packs. But yeah, so we'll take this Imp. I'm actually just going to take the Vivid Crag over this Thieving Sprite or Empty the Warrens, because the Vivid Crag will guaranteedly make my deck. And on 1 and on probably 3 are opportunities for me to play a land that I don't immediately need. And this Thieving Sprite and Empty the Warrens are not, they're just not really cutting it for the deck. Could really use a Lord. That's really what's going to make or break it for this pack. Why is there still a Cloud Goat Ranger? What is this? So, out of this pack, I'm actually considering... Ooh, Warspike Changeling is a rogue. I'm glad I have the one. I don't know if I need another one. Particularly because I'm considering this Bound in Silence can, theoretically at least, give me some reach with the Blight Speakers. It's kind of iffy. Because if I really want to put in the effort, I could like play a Vivid Crag and a Plains to cast it, I mean, I play on top of my planes, play top of my Vivid Crag, play a planes to eventually cast it if that's an issue. Um, but the real concept is that you can Blight Speaker it out, and I'd like to have that as like an out against absurd bombs rather than having another Warspite Changeling. And here I get to pick up another Blight Speaker to support that. I've largely ditched the Dream Spoiler Witch's package because I don't actually have a tremendous amount of instants or spells to play on my opponent's turn. And there are no other red or black cards in the pack. So I could pick up an Apocryphite here. I could pick up a Thieving Sprite that would not be amazing. I could just attempt to cut a card. I don't really know that that's where I want to be either. I could take a Saltfield Recluse, which is a Rebel. I have 3 Rebel Searchers. Yeah, it's unlikely that I end up playing that either, but I'm gonna hedge. Who knows? So the real question is now is whether I gain more by having the Terramorphic Expanse to fetch up a Plains, or by having the Face Falter. Because I've put myself in a position where either one is actually kind of negotiable. But I think I just want to be casting this Demigod, and I'm going to take the Face Falter. Take a Festering Goblin over a Dream Spoiler Witches. This pack was excellent for my curve. I really needed some 1-drops. Warren Pilferers came back, so we'll take that. Stickweed Imp is actually a fine card. It's not amazing in our deck, but we can side it in against the Dinosaur deck. Oh, wow. Yeah, this pack was pretty weak, huh? I guess it looks like I'm taking a Hanakami. And Tugo Shaman's kind of a real card. I've enjoyed suspending it in the past. And based upon how late I've seen these Dream Spoiler Witches, and the fact that I have to, I know no one else is playing them, so I'm going to take the Wood Readers so my opponents don't have it. So it at least looks like I have a semi-reasonable deck at this point. I have some 1s, a lot of 2s, some 3s, some 4s. I'm also a little heavy on the 5s, although I really want Earwig Squad to operate more as a 3. But so we're playing Squad, Pilferers. Nope, get out of here. Probably Macabre. Probably both the Deep Cavern Imps. Definitely the Blight Speakers and the Warren Weirdings and the Festering Goblins and the Capsule. Oh, I had another War Marshal. So my spells are Sudden Shock, Warren Weirding, Executioner's Capsule. Oh, wait, let's add that crack first. Actually, I don't know that... I think I'm going to cut up Pilferers. This Earwig squad really costs 3, and I don't want my 5s that high. I definitely can consider bringing it back in against some of the more grindy matchups. You're suggesting like an 8-8. I really want red on turn 2. I really like black early. You only really cost 1 black. Yeah, that seems fair. Vivid Crag can produce either. Mono dudes the deck. So let's save it. Another demigod. Alright, I'm going to submit. Pause the video. I'll be back for round 1, everybody.